Hello everyone, my name is Aaron and I'm going to run you through a quick tutorial on how to install bhOWL. So the first part is going to be downloading bhOM. We can do this by typing in bhom.xyz into Google and clicking on the first entry. And here we are greeted with the landing page of bhOM, and on the bottom right you can see download the 7.1 beta installer. And if we click that on the top right, you can see our download started, and we are greeted with the bhOM documentation. So here you can read up more on the bhOM engine, adapter, bhOM UI. Secondly, we're going to need bhOWL, and we can do this by typing RDF prototypes into Google. And we're going to go to the GitHub repository, which is going to be the first entry. In the GitHub repository, we can go to the bottom right, and here we're going to see releases. We're going to click on that, and the first entry is going to be the most recent release, so the latest release. And under the asset section, we can click on the online installer zip. This is going to download the online installer. Lastly, we're going to need a graph database. In our case, we're going to type in GraphDB. And again, the first entry is going to lead us to the download page of GraphDB. And here, if we enter our details, we can request a GraphDB license. The free version is going to be fine for our purpose. So let me quickly enter my details, and then I'll see you at the download. After downloading, we can proceed with the installation. I've put all the files we've downloaded in this folder. We have bhOM, our addition to bhOM bhOWL, and our graph database GraphDB. When installing bhOM, make sure Excel and Revit and all associated programs are closed. And you're probably going to be greeted with this Windows Defender message, but we know what we've downloaded and we want to install bhOM, so we can hit more information and run anyways, and proceed with the installation of bhOM. After this, we can proceed with bhOWL. In here, you're going to find an installer directory, and here are 3 files, and we want to run the run online installer bat. So double click that. Again, you're going to be greeted with a Windows Defender message, and after we click on that, the installer is going to download all the DLLs from the latest GitHub release and place them in the bhOM assemblies folder we're going to look at in a minute. Okay, seems like we are done. So now we can proceed with our last installation, which is going to be GraphDB. Here we have a MSI installer again, so just double click that and follow the installation process. And lastly, we can do 2 checks to check if bhOM has been successfully installed. The first one is checking your files under program data. If you can't see this folder, go under 3 dots in options under view. You can tick the option to see hidden folders and files, and then you will be able to click on program data. And if there's a bhOM folder present here, it's already looking good, and we can click inside into the assemblies folder, and all the DLLs seem to be here. So this is already a good sign. We can do a second check. Now I've opened Rhino and Grasshopper. And with the installation file provided by us, we can check if the installation was successful. So we're going to drag this on the canvas. So the first step in this file is going to be checking for the presence of the plugin files with this C# component, which is just going to iterate over all your Grasshopper plugins and going to check if our plugin files are present. So on the bottom output, you can see the check true if our files are present, and the top output is going to give you more insight into all the individual components that come with our plugin. So for example, the component name, nickname, GUID, library it's associated with, or the library version. After we're done with this check, we can check the functionality by pushing and pulling. So here we have a push component with a TTL adapter that's going to create a graph file from this room on your desktop. And then we can proceed by reading the graph file back and checking if both worked, so we know all the functionalities, core functionalities are present. So when we hit this first toggle here, a file is going to be created on the desktop, and we can see that the success code is true, and the objects have been written to a TTL file in the file path. So now if we read this file back, so we switch this toggle to true, we can see that our room has been successfully read back, and we get an object back out of the O output. Lastly, we can hit this toggle to delete the graph file that's been placed on our desktop, so everything's as we started with. So this concludes our short tutorial on how to install bhOWL. I hope you learned something, and I'll see you in the next one.